Well, it's been long overdue, Will. People have called for years now at this point. It's been done in other leagues successfully, if you look at kind of Champions League results. But the Premier League has finally adopted their version of a winter break, where half the teams get a break, the other half play, and then vice versa next week. And then they make up the time the week after. Yeah,
they'll pay for those missed games.
Technically, there is a break in between. There's a break in winter, which that's in my book. But that's a winter break. Will, you know, what more do you want?
That counts.
You get a break, and then you get double time after that in the spring. The spring workaround, I guess, is what they'll call that. I don't know.
It's very confusing because, like, you hear winter break, you see some players are off on their holidays. The reason I saw this for the first time was our Anthony Gordon bit about being at a Nets game, which we were so confused. How did he make it there? It turns out because he was on his holidays. He was on his winter break. I also think that game was in Paris, so it was only 2 hours away.
That makes a lot more sense that he was also on holidays and that it wasn't, you know, on the other side of the world. It's that whole like Jordan Brand thing with PSG, and they bring the NBA to Paris, and you know, the Michael Jordan documentary where someone was in Paris. It got a whole big push there for a while. So apologies to Anthony Gordon, within his rights to go to Paris on his holidays.
You go whenever you want, pal.
You know, he can do what he wants whenever. He's an adult, you know. But it does make a lot more sense. I just kind of ruined the bit, but
we've already got the views.
Yeah, and thanks for commenting, idiots. You know, thanks for the engagement.
We've suckered you in.
And now a special mention from our sponsors.
Honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Melodrama upon melodrama. This is a utter, shameful, disgraceful piece of nonsense.
Because he was miles off it yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all
Plenty
the
of
time.
No problem.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cathal and Will in the thick of the winter break.
We're on our winter break, kind of, because literally, I went to see, hey, what time are Man United playing? I checked that yesterday. I said, they're playing next weekend for some. That was when it all clicked with me, all the winter break stuff fell into place. And it was very confusing because I was like, oh, well, then there must be no football on today. And then I saw Brentford were playing like an hour later.
Well, this is it. Like, I'd imagine that the Premier League said, listen, we can't have weekends where there's no games, right? Even though they do that with the international break every year. But they're like, well, we're not doing this to ourselves. Yeah. Okay.
The algorithm, we wouldn't be able to keep it. We'd be hammered on Instagram if we didn't post for a few days.
Yeah. Well, we're not paying the social media guy to do nothing for a week. Forget that, you know? That's what he's saying. But the result is that you just get like dribs and drabs of games, which, you know, the whole thing of like promoting the big six, the top six, if you don't have them playing then this week, and I don't support, you know, one of the top sixes, you know, when you put yourself in a corner like this, people only want to see the big games, you know, so you rather than having, you know, no games 1 week, fine, I guess I'll talk to my family or whatever, you know, and then I'll come back the next week or the next 2 weeks and then, you know, watch all the big games. You see the games on TV and you go, well, I'm not watching that, you know? Yeah. So you lose the viewership anyways, and then people still don't get a break. So I think it's like the worst of both worlds. But
they were blessed that Ivan Toney was back from his ban this weekend, because I think that gave a bit more to the Brentford game. I think a lot of people did watch it and said, ooh, I'll see what he's up to, what he's like now. But if that ban was on for another week, that fixture list this weekend was doomed.
And this is it. Like it needed that storyline, because even though like it's a 3-2 game, if it wasn't for the Ivan Toney stuff, no one would have seen it. No one would have watched it. You know. But he added that little extra storyline to it, and it was great, really. You know, even before the game, it was all this kind of hype, and there was the interview beforehand. They had a interview there with Thomas Frank gleefully declaring that he'd be back and he was fit, and he'd be captain of the team. Well, he'd walk them out on the pitch, you know, like a reward.
It does feel like, because I saw a great tweet about it where during after his post match interview, where he's saying, "Oh, I manifested this and all." The top comment was someone tweeted, "Oh, hadn't even heard he was coming back."
Yeah. It's so sad, really, because it's like you look at Brentford on the table now; they're one place above relegation.
Yeah,
and it's like, I guess they really did need Toney to be where they were. So they can't. When he comes back, they can't be like Toney. Like that was self-inflicted. Like that was really stupid. And like honestly, if you do that again, like you're not welcome at the club.
Yeah,
because he's already talking about leaving. So you think like that's the way to go, but you need him so badly. You have to just like. And especially a man who sees the world the way he sees it, where he never did anything wrong. You have to treat him like royalty, or else he'll, and that's this. And this is the tough thing for Brentford. He's already doing interviews saying he'd love to be at a big club. So you like your self-respect would say we don't need this guy, but you look at the table and you go, no, actually, we really do need this guy, and we'll never get.
He's key. Yeah.
And for someone like Brentford to get someone like Ivan Toney in terms of like the quality he has, like is he like 27, 26, 27?
Yeah, he's around there.
Like why isn't he at an Arsenal? Why isn't he at a Man City? It's because of these kind of issues that he has, like mentality. Like people have come across him before and went, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Something like Benitez didn't rate him at Newcastle, and it wasn't because he didn't have the ability, because it's something else. It's this kind of. This is what we're saying. It's very quickly to bring Man United back into the conversation already. But I mean, we're saying the player power already bigger than the club. It's like when you go down to like the smaller clubs and they need these players, they always wilt to the player power.
Yeah.
It never works out in the long term. But like in reality, it's never going to work out in the long term because you don't have the money to compete anyway. So it's just you see the things that the big clubs would never do all the time. It reminds me of Newcastle under Alan Pardew. Do you remember how they had all these like players they bought from the French league, like Ben Arfa and Johan Gabay and Lloyd Remy, all these players? It was like, wow, these players are so good. Why aren't they at big clubs? And then you would see them like self-destruct over the years. Like, oh, okay, because they knew about you, they saw you, but
because of in here.
Like I remember that there's that video years ago that went viral of Ben Arfa fighting Diaby at when they're like 14 at the what's that place in France, the underage academy they have where all the best players start off.
I know the one.
It's like I forget it's called. It's not Versailles. That's the Treaty of Versailles. I'm thinking of.
That's your first protocol for French knowledge.
But yeah, like Toney is one of these players that is good enough for a top, 6 club, whatever you want to call it. But is the mentality there? To me, it seems like a classic mistake that a big club would make, signing him in January.
Yes, I think so. Especially when they're up against it at Brentford, when they're like fighting relegation. I think that gives a much better insight into the type of player he is. When like, all right, when things aren't going well, is he going to be able to pull this club out of it and stuff, and let him get fit again? But it does reek of. Again, I think we're very lucky that Man United are in the middle of a staff like change and board member change, or else he'd already be there. He'd have been signed 2 days ago, I think. Yeah,
I don't honestly think you need any more time than it is needed, because you look at the way Brentford are treating him as he's come back. Like they are treating him like he's bigger than the club. Like he was banned and nearly got you relegated because of a self-inflicted betting scandal, which he knew that was wrong.
Yeah. And
then went on the diary CEO and lied about not knowing that it was wrong and got caught on the lie. Made a fool of himself and the club. He's out there talking about moving different clubs, and you come back and make him captain. Yeah. Like what Aubameyang did was not half as bad as that, and he was out the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And he was scored loads of goals, and he was captain as well. So it's the exact same situation. But like at a club like that, where you think we need to focus and get to like the top 4, you can't have a player like that who just does what he wants.
Yeah,
So if you're a Man United or Arsenal, look at that. You're thinking, we should spend 100 million on something that's clearly going to destroy the dressing room. Like,
we have enough of that going on as it is.
Like Arteta must look at that and say, that is Aubameyang again. Like I already solved that problem. And that's like the basis of my career at Arsenal, solving that big problem and getting a team that's worked together. So, I mean, I don't think Arsenal will sign him.
Yeah.
I don't think Man United will sign them because Holland looks like he's maybe starting to click or whatever. And again, it's the price tag, 100 million. It's like, that does tie your hands in for something else you might want to buy. So, yeah, he's talking a big game. He's talking about manifesting. I speak to manifesting. I mean, that game that he came back in, he scored a great free kick, Will.
Yes.
Did you see the instant in hand?
I did, yeah. I saw the huge asterisks on his return goal.
It was like wrestling because there was the two Brentford people who were in the wall like, why can't we stand here? We should be able to stand here. And the ref was like, no, you guys get out here. And meanwhile, Brentford, like Ivan Toney is getting a hammer from underneath the ring behind him, pulling it out. You know,
the crowd's chanted, turn around,
ref, turn around. Like he moved the ball a yard and then went, he might notice this. I better move the foam as well.
Moving the foam it's like so blatantly cheating. Like you know what's going on when you do that.
And the Nottingham Forrest players, they were talking to the goalie and the guy lying behind the goal, so they were distracted as well. So it was very pantomime stuff. It was like, look out, everybody look behind you. He's cheating, look behind you. But like it's grand. Like I mean, people that move the throw up, they go down when they're injured, when they're not. You know, that's football. But like typically they come out after the game and go, I don't know, man. It is what it is, or like they say something to like, I don't want to say that it wasn't true, or like, and honestly, rarely they get called up in it. But I mean, we'll play the clip. But he is asked about it after the game.
What does all this mean to you?
It means a lot. A long time coming. I mean, I manifested this about the time I was out, and I'm here now, and I'm just buzzing to be back scoring goals and winning with the team. Yeah, that goal, I mean, when the free kick was given, were you thinking this could be my moment? 100%. I mean, I practice them in training. Everyone banters me when most of them go in the stands in the car park, but when it matters, I deliver, so it's good. You moved the ball a little touch there as well for the goal, didn't you? You moved the ball just to the right. Did you see that gap? Yeah, I mean, sometimes I think you have a yard either way, and I just moved them better around the corner, so I'm grateful it went in, and I'm grateful to be back there with the lads. I've missed it so much. The fans, everyone, I'm back.
Boo!
It's like there's no stopping this man.
Yeah, he's a menace.
If you think that you can move a yard to your side, then why'd you move the foam?
Yeah, exactly.
Why'd you move the foam, Tony?
Why'd you rub out where the foam was?
I mean, look, to be fair, like I say, you don't usually get called out on these things. Then you move that ball for that free kick. What do you think of that? No, I didn't. Or, well, look, it is what it is. You just got to go. It is what it is. It's the easy way out of it. If you get pressed on for a second time, then you storm off.
Exactly.
That's how I would handle that.
How dare you ask me a question like that? Yeah. On my first game back, that's
like, listen, we just got a famous win here. You're focused on negative things here. I don't like negative people in my life. You go down that road.
Yeah.
But to just on the spot, like he looks away and goes, maybe I'll say this. And he just says, I think you can move it a yard either side. Like, yeah, because like the referees never complain about taking the free kick from the correct position. They never call you back for that. Like just make up this rule that no one's ever heard of before. So I think you have a yard either side.
There is
not a free kick, not a goal scoring opportunity you get.
There's an amazing so there was uproar over this. Apparently it's out of the remit of VAR, because obviously there's no rule drawn up for, hey, are we allowed to go to VAR if someone rubs out the spot for a free kick and moves it? Because they always just assume, well, who's doing that? That'd be obviously cheating. We don't need VAR for that one. So they couldn't bring it back, which prompted a letter.
Yeah, Nottingham Forrest sent a letter to the PGMOL and said they wanted clarification on the goal. Like, I mean, what do you mean?
I mean, the letter never works. We've seen that. And anything, the letter loses you like respect from the people watching the game. I think like before you send the letter, people are like, oh, they've been robbed. But when you like put it in writing and moaning to the PGMOL, I think a lot of people are like, lads, you just moved the ball a bit. You should have stopped it. Don't give away the free kick then. Things like that.
Yeah, everyone's saying you should have moved the wall then.
Exactly.
But they didn't notice it. But I mean, it's one of those things where people will willingly give pity to a club. Like, oh, that's really tough. That shouldn't happen to you at all. That's so tough. But then when you complain, it's like, well, stop complaining, whinging, will you?
Suck it
Get
up.
over
it's
it.
The game's the game.
I think Nottingham Forrest are feeling a bit victimized at the moment with the points deduction and all that. So it's just more of it in their eyes. Like, oh yeah, of course, no one cheats out of it. No one does anything. Of course, they want us down. They want us out. Will.
Yeah, they all hate Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, they're still annoyed about that. Those back-to-back European Championships we won. You know, it's...
Well, we mentioned Ivan Toney's, his mindset at the moment, and we got a real glimpse of it. A few days before the game, I stumbled across this article on the Daily Mail. The title of the article was Ivan Toney meets Oliver Holt and reveals his new tattoos and his long road back. So it's like an in-depth interview. Long road back. It's insane.
As if he had a cruciate or something. Like, I mean,
the way the article is written is it's framed like he's been away with a big injury. I know there's a few tough questions put to him, but it's just there's some things said in here that are mad. So here, a few months ago, in the height of it all, Toney mentions an incident that occurred during his ban when he was stopped at a petrol station with his family in his car. Some young men started laughing about him and yelling questions about whether he had a tenner on the game that day. In life, people like to bring things up to bring you down, Toney says. When the people did that in the car, I caught up with them in the next car park. I drove up to them, pulled down my window and says, "What did you say?" And they shit themselves and sped off. Everyone is all hard when you don't know who's saying it, but no one has ever said anything to my face about anything. Everyone always says stuff in the background. I'm hot-headed sometimes, but if someone said that now, I would just laugh. I wouldn't care. It says here then, there's no doubt about Toney's guilt. He, of course, admitted to the 232 charges. Did he? Because I remember in the Diary of a CEO thing, he was like, "Oh, it was my brother under my name," and stuff like that. And, "Oh, I didn't know." And so, like, he kind of admitted to it, but not really. He never, like, said, "Yep, I did it."
He was given this kind of, I was given to other people to bet, but they must have bet on things that I didn't tell the bet on. And then they're like, "So you knew that you shouldn't do it, so you're giving someone else to do it." Guess I've caught myself in a lie there. Like that whole interview, I watched the whole thing. It's insane how many times he contradicts himself and catches himself in a lie. And the interviewer is so kind to him. It's so like, don't even press him in these things. Like, it was just...
So I'm thinking since the Diary of a CEO thing, he obviously was told, "Hey, stop fucking, passing the blame and, moving, like, be honest, you've been found guilty of all this." Because his tone definitely changes during this interview. He's asked, "How much did you lose?" "Good question," he says. "Couldn't tell you." "Give me a ballpark figure." "I literally couldn't tell you. The more I think about it, the more I dwell on the past. It'll haunt you even more and pain you. I didn't bet on anything else apart from football. Maybe a horse at Cheltenham, but that was it. The past is the past. So why let it hurt you?"
It's the past, the past. You live with the past, Will. Stop with the past.
Yeah.
It's easy to say that when your past is you being done for something. It's easy for you to move on because it does suit you to move on if you just stop talking about it and move on. But I mean, like I say, when it comes to big clubs, they won't forget about the past.
Exactly. And there's one more quote here, which he says, around the time I got banned, Toney says, "I wanted to keep myself to myself and be around my family more than trying to be out there being a spokesperson for all sorts of things. I might look into it more now. Then again, I don't want to really be a kind of feel sorry for me, I've been through it, listen to me kind of person. That's not my personality. At the time, I guess I accepted it. I want to own it and get on with it. I've done it. The punishment is done. It is what it is. You can't change what's done. What's done is done. You can never change something when the damage is done." So he ran through all. He's certainly now being like, "All right, I did it. Let's move on."
Yeah, but are we going to talk about it forever? Is this all I'm known for? It's like...
Yeah, he says...
Bear in mind, when it came out first, he had the whole conspiracy thing that he said that someone waited for me to get called for England, and then they did this thing to me. They were waiting. And then it admits like, "Oh yeah, there was an ongoing investigation for a long time." And then I guess they came to conclusions. But interesting that it's coincided with me getting called up for England. Very interesting. It's like, that's just how it is genuinely just a coincidence. Like, no one's out to get you,
He has like that big quote there. He's like, "I did it. It was me. All that's done is done. Let's move on. It's in the past." And then later on the article, he says, "Even if I score this weekend, all anyone's going to talk about is the betting rubbish." And it's like, the betting rubbish? Like, it's not like an annoying thing. It's like a thing you did that you found guilty of. He's like, in his mind, it still feels like it was some annoyance that is like, "Fine, I guess I'll have to do this." Like, they're really trying to take me down. But then in like 2 sentences later, he's like, "No, yeah, I've done it. I own up to it." No, you haven't.
Yeah, no, it's like saying, I accept responsibility for that nonsense that you're all telling me I did. It's like, well, it doesn't sound like, if you're calling it betting rubbish, that it's like, really to take ownership of it and accept that, you know what I did was wrong. Totally. Oh, no, 100%. The betting thing was wrong, but I think I've moved on. But to call betting rubbish does kind of infer that like you haven't moved on and that you don't really think it's a serious thing. You think, oh, well, you think it's serious, so I guess it is. But really, I don't agree, and I think I should be able to bet what I want, even on my own games.
There's an interesting layer to the story as well, which I didn't realize, that he was betting on Brentford to lose games while he was on loan at the time, apparently. Or this might have been before he got to Brentford. But he was betting on his own club to lose games. Whereas I think before, a lot of people were like, he's backing himself to score and stuff like that. Like, what's really the harm? It's like, no, you're actively hoping on your own club's downfall. That's a big problem. When they're paying you, especially. Yeah,
well, this is why I can't get over it. Like, all this stuff came out and Brentford are still acting like he's their savior. You know what I mean? Because he might actually be their savior this year. And it's just, it's a tough thing to watch because he's just so unlikable, I find. From what from interviews I've seen, it's just, they that they don't want to be like this to him, but they have to because that they know him better than anybody else. So, like, if you don't treat him like this, he'll, turn on you. So, I don't know what's going to go for him. I don't know where this is going to go. I mean, like who needs a striker? I guess Arsenal could do with someone big and strong up front who can score goals, which he has. But I think the Aubameyang thing is far too fresh in Arteta's minds to give the okay on this. United, like I said, they have Holland going okay. I know Martial has been recently gulagged by...
added to the list.
Excommunicated from the group. Another one. So maybe they're looking for some backup, but City will never sign him. Not a chance that Pep would sign that. Not like the opposite of a team player, I would say. Liverpool, Darren Nunez is banging in goals again.
He's in the form of his life,
One of those things where, like, if Liverpool were to win the league this year, he might finish with 20 goals and no one will remember the season was the Darren year where he fired them to the title. You know what I mean? But he has actually got like 15 odd goals this year. So, I just don't see one of his favourite clubs going for him, to be honest.
Chelsea are always worth a bet.
Chelsea could, but maybe Chelsea, but would he want to go to Chelsea? If you were Ivan Toney now, you're leaving Brentford. Is it just the money thing? Or is it kind of, I want to play in Champions League at my peak?
Yeah.
The only thing I could see is say the price is 100 million set by Brentford, which is their right to do. I could then see Tony going, lads, I'm going to throw a strop if you don't go that price. I'm not going to play for you.
Gonna lose my rag, lads.
Thanks to the red carpet, but I will down tools immediately unless I get what I want.
I have Stephen Bartlett and the Diary of CEO on speed dial.
Yeah, I just don't see him having the respect for Brentford that they've earned from him. I think he would immediately just throw that back in their face. Go, thanks for the rehabilitation and the captaincy and all that stuff. And thanks for keep paying me through all that stuff. But I will actually lose my shit if you don't let me go to Spurs.
There's a quote I forgot to say that was in this article where they move on to the end of it about like Tony saying he wants to go to a big club, and he says in it, he's like, look, I'm focused on Brentford right now, but whatever happens, I wouldn't mind it. But before that, the journalist, whoever wrote the article, has an interesting line. He says, it's widely accepted that if Arsenal were to sign Ivan Toney, they would be instant favourites for the league.
I don't know about that, to be honest.
Widely accepted? I don't know about that.
You can just say things now, can't you? You
can just say whatever you want.
I think the older I get, the more I see things like, oh, this is all bullshit. Everything is just...
Was it always like this?
Has it always been lies? You can just print things and say things, and there's no kind of watchdog really for most things. It's just, enough of Ivan Toney. Will. Sick of him now. Sick of talking about him. And the thoughts of him coming to Arsenal and Arsenal winning the league. Yeah, don't make me hope again. Well, it's too soon for that. It's January, Will, so obviously it's the January transfer window, but it's also award season.
Yep.
You've probably seen Barry Keoghan's different fits on different red carpets.
Yeah. I also recently watched Saltburn.
Oh yeah,
where he
how was it?
He seems to pick every scene. He seems to pick his accent by spinning a big wheel before he started filming because he sounds totally different from minute to minute.
I love those performances. Really keeps me in the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I shouldn't criticize that. I haven't seen the film. I saw people say that it's like the Town to Mr. Ripley. To be honest, I saw a reel that said this is what Saltburn wishes it was, and I was like,
oh,
yeah, because movies are intelligent beings that wish things. But yeah, we've seen a lot of that. We've seen who's the other man, Cillian Murphy. Well, if you saw Robert Downey Jr. glowingly speaking about how amazing he was. Paul Mescal, they're all out there wearing their suited and booted. Well, remember those Facebook captions?
Suit jackets and vests.
Yeah, suit jackets and nothing underneath.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. But also it's football award season.
Yes, we had FIFA Men's Player of the Year, and we had the Globe Soccer Awards.
Yeah, it used to be just the Balon Dor was the big one, but I guess it's like the way the Oscars is the big one, and there's always like the Golden Globes, and there's like the Emmys as well. But now that the Balon Dor has been moved to the end of the season and no one cares about it, these ones have come to the fore a lot more.
Yeah.
Now tell me, which one was it that Messi won?
Messi won the Balon d'Or, and he won the Best FIFA Football Award for 2023. He was the men's best player.
FIFA's best player of 2023. So 2023 included his second half of the season in PSG.
Mm-hmm. Disaster, I think. Widely accepted.
I think they won the league, but I mean, it was fine. By his own standards, I don't think it was a vintage Messi half season. And then the other season was the Miami Walking Tour. I think people thought it was for 2022, 2023.
Yes.
And they went, oh yeah, the World Cup, yeah, fair enough. Give them the vote there. Because it was like the captains, it was like the Balon d'Or system, like captains of the world, media, and also fan votes as well were in there. Mm-hmm. Which I'm not sure that should be in there, to be honest.
No. Have they not seen how the landscape has changed?
I know. I don't think they have. I don't think they have changed it where people they support players now rather than teams. And Messi is one of the most popular players in the world, if not the most popular player. He tied with Erling Haaland at the end, but in a very elitist way, in a kind of a big club fashion, some captains' votes counted for more. So captains of higher ranked teams counted for more points. So yeah, not quite democratic system, which meant that Messi won on technicality of a legend that recommended him. Mm. So it's funny because he actually voted for Haaland himself. Messi did.
Of course he did, because he knew what season he had. He knows when the World Cup was.
He won the treble, and he broke the Premier League scoring record that has stood since Alan Shearer in like 1990 something. And then the start of this season, I guess as well, he got injured a bit. Maybe the injury counted against him. People said, "No, I would have given it to Haaland, but those
last 3 weeks."
It took me out of it took me out of the moment.
I just watched Captains of the World, Erling. Sorry, I'm voting for Messi.
Maybe that's what it is. The Captains of the World coming out. And people are like, yeah, that was a good year. That was last year. That wasn't this summer. It was the Winter World Cup in Qatar. That's what that was.
Well, someone who took major umbrage with these awards, who's the original villain. We were talking about Ivan Toney being the heel number 9, the original heel number 9. Cristiano Ronaldo has claimed that the Balon d'Or and the Best FIFA Football Awards are losing credibility. Said this after picking up the Best Middle East Player and Fans' Favourite Player of the Year at the Middle Eastern Football Awards. I think that's what it is. Both of those awards were decided by votes, it says, which I think most awards are.
I mean, Fans' Favourite of the Year is very funny. It's because I don't know if you saw that Barbie won a Golden Globe, for a new category.
Mm-hmm.
The Box Office Award. Which is like
most watched movie.
Favorite player is like what's like that's not an award. You can't Box Office Award is the opposite of what film and artistry is. It's like you do it in spite of that it makes money. It's art. People might understand it, but in the end they will. To say like most shirt sales awards goes to Cristiano Ronaldo. It's like
this is Ronaldo's 12th award of the night.
It's like there's separate, like marketing guilds have marketing awards. You don't need to add a marketing award to a movie. You don't need to add favorite player to best player. It's like, people mightn't like, say someone like Rubery, but he was bloody good that year. You know, he might be a likable guy, but I mean, at the same stage, he was good, and you have to give him his flowers. But like most favorite player, Ronaldinho should be voted for. Then come on.
Now those first two prizes might have raised a few eyebrows, but his third one, you can't argue it. His third prize was based purely on statistics, as he received the Maradona Award. He got this for ending 2023 as the leading scorer in world football. Ronaldo scored 54 goals in 59 games in 2023 for Al Nassr, and later told a Portuguese newspaper Record, "The Balon d'Or and the best are losing credibility. Numbers are reality. We have to analyse the entire season. It's not to say that Messi didn't deserve the award, or Haaland, or even Mbappe. I simply no longer believe in these awards."
Wow. He's right. He's right to say that, I think.
He goes on to say, "It's not because I won at the Globe Soccer. These are just facts. Numbers are there and they don't deceive. They can't take this trophy away from me because it's reality. I'm happier with this one because numbers are facts."
Numbers don't lie, Will. You look at the numbers and...
A goal is a goal is a goal. It doesn't matter what league you scored in.
Yeah, it does kind of open, when it's a top goal scorer and you're adding in the Saudi League, it does kind of open the floodgates to, there's a guy here in the Cambodian First League who scored 200 goals in the season. It's their top flight. They're a real country, so, you know.
He also said, "If you go back and see what happened at Man United in Portugal, people actually considered me lost. But the truth is, I was focused, I had a great period at Al Nassr, and then I scored 54 goals. So there you go. That's what he thinks about all this.
Look, I've said this for a while. I think the whole award season stuff is gone crazy. Like it's there's way too much emphasis put on it in what is it, you know, fundamentally a team game that you're giving out individual awards. It's a bit like, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? Why? Like it does take away from, you know, like say when Ronaldo, okay, he is still fit, he is still capable, and he score goals in the right situation. But like when you put him in that Man United team that wasn't very good or wasn't well organized, it doesn't make a difference. You know, it doesn't quite work. It doesn't get to the levels he can because it's a team game. So as good as one player is, you still need the right structures around you, which he had at Man United when he first came, or which he had at Real Madrid. You know, they allow you to score the goals. It's a team effort. You know, you are very important to the team and you can make the difference, like someone like Ivan Toney can. But, you know, if you're not in the correct system, it doesn't really, it's like the stomach and the legs. You know, what's more important? Like, I don't know if you saw the list for the Globe Awards. They had the men's best player of the year, Erling Haaland. Fans' favorite player of the year, which you mentioned, Cristiano Ronaldo. Best club, Manchester City.
What does best mean?
Very broad. Best coach, Pep Guardiola. Best president, Khaldoon Al-Mubarak of Manchester City. Best Middle East player, new award, I guess, for Cristiano Ronaldo, who won it. How about this one, Will? Powerhouse emerging player, Jude Bellingham, Borussia Dortmund, Real Madrid.
That is, again, it really is. Every week, football is becoming more and more like wrestling. That's like the Intercontinental title. You got the powerhouse title.
It goes on. Best midfielder of the year. Can you guess?
Jude Bellingham?
No, how about this, Will? Best midfielder of the year right now. That might help you.
Oh, Rodri.
Rodri got it, yes. Best goalkeeper of the year?
Alisson.
Close. Ederson. Man City. Man City got like
Man City, yes.
Man City were the Oppenheimer of this award ceremony. They really cleaned house here.
Ronaldo was Barbie.
Yeah, Ronaldo was Saltburn, I think. It's probably a better one. It's like, he's out there, you know. He's doing his own thing. Here's one I don't think you will guess, Will. I'll give you a hint, but Player Career Award. And he's a player who's still playing, but has had a good career.
Modric?
Oh, good guess. No, that's it. This is a strange award. This is like kind of lifetime achievement award. I mean, it's an award summary for this year where they're giving player career award. No, Modric is very close. Same team, former teammates.
Is it Kroos? Kroos? Is Kroos still there?
You're dancing around that midfield, Will. You're getting close.
Casemiro?
Casemiro got Player Career Award.
It's famously in a slump right now.
This is his career, though, Will. They're honouring his career while he's still playing. They're accepting that his career is...
He's not even close to retiring.
Well, the way he's playing, maybe he should be. That's what the award is saying to him. Like, you've had a great career. It's like, I'm still playing. Yeah. You've had a great career. A great career. But my career is still happening. As you mentioned, the Maradona Award for Best Goal Scorer of the Year. The best goal scorer of the year is said here on Wikipedia. Anyway. And then finally, Best Middle East Club, Al Halil. So yeah, that's that for you, Will.
There you go. You're all clamoring for the award season.
Now again, I'm not sure how true this Wikipedia entry is, and honestly, I don't know if anybody cares enough about this Wikipedia entry to check it for inconsistencies. Now a silly one, as they say.
Yeah, you might have seen this trend popping up on our favorite website, X and Twitter. I don't know what came first. Was it a chicken? It's a chicken or the egg scenario where the graphic with the 11 animals lined up, and then the tweet was like, "I hope you see the vision" or something like that. Or was it the clip from TalkSport clip with Ali McCoist and Andy Townsend debating the speed of a mongoose versus a snake?
Taking people and they're taking things whole. Like it's the size of
those boa constrictors.
Is it a giant anaconda or something?
Yes, ridiculous. And they eat.
It's like 2.5, 3
things
foot
like that.
Yeah, no, they do, Ali, though.
I know.
It's ridiculous. The width of them in the middle is like
I don't like them.
Unbelievable.
And then they just wrap around you. I don't like them. Have you ever seen when they slow motion, they slowed it down, the snake and the mongoose? And the mongoose is actually quicker than the snake.
Joking.
Oh, Andy, you've got to look at it. You've got to YouTube this, man. I'm telling you, this is dynamite. This is Attenborough stuff, this, right? It might have been Attenborough, the top man that I watched it on. They actually showed you the confrontation between the snake and the mongoose, and it told you the snake, I beg your pardon, the mongoose's reaction time was something like 0.14 quicker than the snake's.
Mongoose? Wow.
I'm saying a mongoose.
Yeah, but it's a
mongoose-like creature. It might be the mongoose, in fact, but it's a mongoose-like creature, and you can see, and the snake goes for bang,
bang,
and the mongoose
is away.
Aye.
Listen, fair play.
But it's birthed a new sensation on Twitter of people posting their animal 11s and debating, saying who would work where, what animal is washed. So I've put together my animal 11, Cottle, if you'd like to hear it.
Okay, I would, and I'd like to debate it, Will, because I have my own thoughts. But you go ahead.
So starting off in goal. Now, the majority of people on Twitter I saw had the octopus in goal. But I think, I'm going to say it, Ocean, Farmers League, land is a totally different game. I have the chimpanzee in goal.
That is good. Octopus is a casual's take. You're looking at stats. You're a stat merchant. You look at 8 arms, 8 legs, that must stop goal. It's like, would you put an 8-foot tall man in goal? No. No. He's agility. He needs to be able to move around the goal. You can't just be big.
Agility, quick, thumbs to catch the ball. So I was thinking, this is why I said chimpanzee. They've got hands like us. They're athletic, quick reflexes. They can be pretty fucking big. They're fast. And I was thinking, who do you want coming to claim across your box? You want a chimpanzee. He's going to be buzzing to jump and catch that ball.
Yeah.
With the chimpanzee in goal.
You're not going to put anybody in front of the chimpanzee that he can't push out of the way. You're not going to stand like Trossard in front of him and hope that's going to, put him off his game. He'll just push out of the way and then
rip your face off, famously.
See Joe Rogan for more details on that. But there's no one stopping that chimpanzee at the cross.
No. So I have an athletic keeper, so I went for 2 big lads at the back. We have the Rhino left centre back. Can run 50 kilometres an hour. The fastest land mammal over 1,000 kg, I found out. He'd make you think twice if you're going into a one-on-one with him or 50-50. He'll make you pay.
Okay. I'm honestly, I think once you turn the Rhino, he's not agile enough, Will. He's not a ball-playing centre back in any facet,
He is He's a player from the past. He's like a callback to a past generation, I think. Yeah. But then beside him, we have another player you might think not too athletic, but I think surprisingly athletic. I have the grizzly bear in beside him. Huge, commanding, gets a lot of respect. He can run 40 miles an hour, I found out. He's a highly evolved social animal with intelligence comparable to that of a great ape. Bears often share friendship, resources, and security. They form hierarchies and have structured kinship relationships. This guy can command the defense. He can talk to the backline.
Literally a natural born leader.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, we've got the Rhino and the Grizzly Bear at the back. Okay. At left back then, we just mentioned the Apes. That's where I put the Gorilla, the Silverback Gorilla. You might think a bit slow maybe for left back, maybe not agile enough like you're saying. I can make up for it on the other side. The left side though is more defensive, definitely. He can lift over 1,700 pounds. He has the strength of 8 adult men.
Yeah.
Tell you, if this guy's coming at
which man? Which man? I'd like to challenge that. Which man?
It said actually 8 rugby men was exactly the quote from the website, which clearly had never heard of what rugby players are called. Rugby men.
Rugby men. Got them.
So, he's a big, strong lad left back. Maybe not too agile, but right back, all about agility. This guy is a baller.
Kind of Ivanovic, it kind of reminds you of,
Exactly, yeah. Over at right back then, we've got an elegant player. This guy is a baller. You can see it a miles away. We have the German Shepherd.
Okay, yeah. Probably a failed winger, kind of a right back, I would say. Used to be a winger. Yeah. But
Antonio Valencia type figure, right?
Yes.
Look, he's rapid, he's athletic, nimble. Again, much like the chimpanzee, it's going to be tough to get the ball off him. That guy lives for getting the ball. Dangerous though as well. You can get a tackle in, I'd say. You don't want to get the wrong side of the German Shepherd. I know compared to the Rhino and such, but I think he's got it in him. Then we move to the midfield pairing. I think this pairing makes total sense. Now, I think behind the scenes, off the pitch, they might not get along, but I think on the pitch, these two will get the best out of each other. We have the captain, Lion, and beside him, we have the Tiger. It's the ultimate pairing in midfield. They have it all. And they demand respect, I think.
Do you know what, man? I think this is Lampard Gerrard all over again. This is not going to work. They're too similar. They're way too similar. They're the same. They're very similar players, Will. I think Lampard is the lion, and then Gerrard is the more athletic tiger. I think it's not going to work, Will. Unless you're putting Paul Scholes in there with them in the midfield 3, this is not going to work.
It's a midfield 2, but I think the lion is wise beyond his years. He again the ultimate captain.
He's done it again.
He can run 50 miles an hour.
So can Gerrard.
And the tiger. The tiger, I think he's going to have something to prove to the lion. Everyone always says lion first. No one ever mentions the tiger. I think he's going to have a lot to prove in that midfield.
This is why there'll be conflict in the team over this, Will. You're already stating the problems as your strengths.
The best teams, they get the best out of each other, like Roy Keane, and they pull everyone up to their level. You're always trying to be the best on the team, I think. So that's the midfield and our defence. Then we go to the left wing. Now, on the left back, I had the Gorilla. So you might think, not the most agile, he's a bit defensive. So I had to make up for it on left wing. Yeah. That's where I put the Cheetah. Pace merchant. Can run 75 miles an hour, stick to the line, stay wide, no one's stopping him. He'll cause havoc. And we both know, the Cheetah's not tracking back. He's not that type of player. No way. The Cheetah has got he's got the spots, he's got the cool haircut. He's not going back there, but you've got the Gorilla there helping out. So it all makes sense. Right wing. Another pace merchant, some might say, but he's got a bit more to him. He's a bit stronger. We've got the horse.
Horse. Okay.
We've got the German Shepherd behind him and the horse. I think they'll work well together. Workhorse, famously, is a thing. So he'll put the effort in. Maybe an inside forward role, I was thinking. He could gallop in from, cut across. He'd be tough to stop, definitely. So that's their wings. Then up top, I think I have the ultimate pairing. A lot of people I did see had this man up top, the Giraffe, the ultimate target man. You kick a ball from anywhere, he can find it. He'll take it down. But who's going to be beside him getting on the end of it? I went with the Fox in the box. Wily, clever, a false number 9 maybe. He's going to be causing havoc. You lump it up to the Giraffe. The Cheetah's cutting in. It's a goal. And that is the Animal 11.
I have definitely some points and contentions. Some players will have been disrespected, personally. I think what you've done to some players there, we've mentioned, not even an honorable mention, is wrong. Personally, Will, in goal, I think there's a mistake there straight away. I think you have to have the orangutan in there.
Oh, look.
I mean, he's literally just going to be hanging out at the goal. That reach, it can't be underestimated. Like he's perfect for the goal. I think he's deceptively agile and athletic. You look at the belly, but don't worry about that. You know, it's the strength in those arms. Did you ever see that video of the guy trying to get away from the orangutan? He's grabbing to the bars. Did you ever see that? See the grip strength of that guy? He looks kind of like lazy and relaxed, but he's got some explosiveness in him. He's got some power, you know. I think he's in there. In terms of the centre backs, I think I would move the orangutan, or I'd move the gorilla to the centre back role.
Yeah, I could see it.
And I would replace the who's your other centre back? It was the
rhino.
Bear and the rhino. You know, I'm getting rid of the rhino totally.
Wow, no rhino.
Yeah, I just the way I'm looking at playing. Will I need a ball playing centre back? I need someone who's actually good at their feet. The ostrich.
The ostrich. The game is gone. A few of the ostrich at the back over the rhino.
Look, you've got the gorilla, and you've got the ostrich. That's two centre back pairing. In terms of a replacement right back, I'm going to put the chimpanzee.
So you're moving the chimpanzee from goal to right back. I have no qualms with that.
Yeah, his athleticism, you know, has to be utilised in some way.
You can put him anywhere on the pitch. That guy is a born athlete.
Yeah, he can do a job anywhere for you, you know, including goal. But I just think the right thing is better suited. I'm putting him right back, and then left back. Again, a bit of a slept-on player in terms of their athleticism, sneaky athleticism they have. I'm using the hippo.
The hippo is good. I think the rhino offers a bit more than the hippo because of the horn, of course.
Yeah, I just think it's the speed and the agility. Again, it's secret. You know, you wouldn't think he's going to lumber after me, but I mean, you think I'll just knock around this guy and I'll go get around the side. You're not getting around him, first of all. And he's quicker than you might think as well. He's a hippo, you know. What else was I going to say? In midfield, I'm going with midfield 3, Will. And I think I need someone who's kind of defensive minded, who, again, an underrated player, but has insane athleticism, as good as anywhere, but he is a specific skill set that just offers himself to a defensive midfielder, and that's the hyena.
Oh, the hyena is a hothead, though. You can't be trusting the hyena.
The hyena was a wind-up merchant, you know, but he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, for sure.
He doesn't lose his head. He makes other players lose theirs, you know, and he's going to be sitting there. He's going to be at people's heels. He is vicious. He's ruthless. It's the kind of player you need in midfield. Alongside him, I need someone
that's going to cause war. The hyena doesn't get on with anyone in the team, though.
He doesn't. He's the kind of player, you might think that he's the kind of player, when you're playing against him, you hate him. When you're playing with him, you're glad he's on your team, you know.
Ander Herrera type.
He loves the club, Will. The hyena loves this club. Alongside him, Will, I need a bit of intelligence, right?
Yeah.
And often the most intelligent players are what? They're not the Gerrards, the super athletes. They're the players who aren't quite as quick or strong, so they need to think the way out of problems.
Yeah.
So, i.e., the smaller horse, the zebra. You know, he doesn't have the athleticism of the horse. He can't rely on speed and his gallop to get away from players. He has to think outside the box, but also, you know, good with his feet as well. Very, very good with his feet, in fact.
Bit of a show pony, though. The stripes, I mean...
Look, it's hard to know, is he black or white stripes or white or black stripes? But, you know, you cannot... say that he is a good player. Yeah, the haircut is a bit much as well, but I mean, there's a fine line between intelligence and genius, you know. Alongside him, you do need someone equally as talented, but maybe a bit more of a workhorse. So I'm going to put in the Jaguar.
Yeah, the Jaguar is he's quick, but I don't know if it does.
He's strong. He's quick. He's strong. He works hard, and he has intelligence. He's waiting to pounce. Will he's waiting in the long grass? He'd make a mistake, and then he's in like a flash, you know. And
that's true. Yeah,
he released it to the zebra. He released it to the top players, but he can also score himself. He's an all rounder, you know. Defense, attack. He's got it all. I think he's the perfect foil for the zebra in midfield. He's very kind of tricky and can see things. But yeah, I think it's the hyena, the jaguar, and the zebra is just a perfect mix of players in the middle. Up front, then front three, of course. Yeah,
of course.
The cheetah out wide, the pace. I don't think it is kind of like a Salah. You know, you mightn't like him. You might think he's this. You have to have him in there. The pace is.
He's the best in the world at that position.
Yeah,
easily.
You can't ignore the pace that he has. And yeah, if he's not going to track back, don't put him as a winger. Put him as a wide player and let the three in midfield do the work that he will clearly not do. Up front, I'm going with the big cat. Just an absolute killer in every sense. The Panther.
Yeah, very, very, very cool player, I'll say.
Yeah, he will genuinely strike fear into his opponents. You know,
there's a lot of people out there on Twitter with Panther profile pictures, I'd say.
Yeah, he's rapid, he's strong, he can take abuse and he can give it back. Really ruthless finisher. I'm going with the Panther up front to lead the line. Then finally out wide to finish up the top three. To counter the cheetah's kind of laziness on the other side. I'm going with the camel on the right wing.
He's he puts the effort in. Does he have the pace though?
Surprisingly more pace than you might think. Yeah, if you ever see a camel getting going, he's not the fastest player in the world. That's why we have cheetah, because he actually is the fastest player in the world. We have the camel.
True. You don't need two of them.
Up and down those wings all day long. The camel. You know, he's not going to be a 20 goal a season, man. You know, but he'll get you his 10 and he'll work hard.
I tell you, Carl, the camel reeks of a flop to me. Absolute 100 million player, and get three goals, 2 assists for him. The camel is not the guy.
The camel is a youth product. You know, it makes him in the first team, and that's why he gets more leeway, because he is a youth player. You'd never buy him. He's never going to get sold for 100 million. You never buy him 100 million. But again, it's the kind of player, when he's not on the team, you appreciate him a lot more.
You miss the camel. Yeah.
You miss the camel.
You're not going with the lion in your 11th, the king of the jungle. Doesn't make you a starting 11.
No player bigger than the club.
No, I don't know about that.
Mescoon club. Well, you know, we don't want those kind of personalities. We have our guys out here.
Well, he's the number one on the shortlist for the Balon Dor.
No. Okay, well that's in that segment.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many, many garbage things.
With Tony, the return of Tony. Ivan Toney.
Nice.
Or Ivan the Terrible Liar. I like that one. But I don't think
that could be a good title.
It's a good title, but I thought that last time when I said Tony Speaks, but I was like, no one searches Ivan. They only research Tony, and I don't think maybe people even search Ivan Toney. I think it's just Tony. Anyways.
Tony Gambling, usually. Tony Ban.
Yeah, Tony Ban Gambling, Tony Tiger, Tony, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah. But anyways, Tony Foamy, I don't know, whatever. I just think you have to have Tony in there. The Ivan stuff doesn't really work, but we'll pick one at the end.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Balls off yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all the
Plenty of
time.
time, no problem.